Good morning, boys. My name is StevieWunderKid and welcome back to another GTA 5 drifting video. In this video, we're going to be covering the last of the newest batch of drift tuning cars that just got added to GTA Online with the newly added Declasse Drift Walton L35 that just came out as part of the Money Fronts DLC drip feed. So first things first, this truck is actually its own unique model. This is not something you have to take to the LS car meet and apply the drift tuning upgrade to. Once you buy this truck, it's going to come with all those upgrades pre-applied. So it's got the all-wheel drive split. It's already got the steering angle, the lowered suspension, all that stuff is pre-applied to it, which is kind of interesting from an organizational perspective because now there's like 3 different versions of this truck in the game files, and it kind of makes the original stock Walton L35 kind of pointless because this one is just way cooler, got better liveries, better customization, all of that stuff. Another thing I want to mention is that from August 14th to August 21st of 2025, so this new drift themed event week, this truck is actually completely free. So you can run on over to the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website, and instead of spending about 1.4 million, which is the normal purchase price for this truck, for this week in specific, you can get it for totally free, and you can get however many you want. You can get 1, you can get 50, you could get 200, it doesn't matter. Rockstar is giving this away for completely free, and I'm not going to fumble it like I did with the other upgrades I talked about in my previous videos. This one is available for all players. It's not just for GTA Plus people, which is actually really cool, and it's a bit of generosity you don't normally see from Rockstar. So ultimately, in the end, this is one of the better drift tuning trucks in the game, and the fact that it's free is just the icing on the cake. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be showing you guys pretty much everything you need to know about it with regard to drifting and all that stuff. So let's head into the mod shop and get going. All right, so in the mod shop now, I just gotta appreciate the fitment, man. Having a properly low truck, the offset needs a little bit of work, but still it just looks so good. And obviously you can see at the top left here, this truck doesn't have any explicit drift tuning upgrade. Again, all of those upgrades are pre-applied, which is really nice. So first off, getting into the standard stuff. First off, for armor, I maxed this out. Obviously it's going to help the car take impacts a lot better, so that way you can have it out for a lot longer. Nice and simple there. Then really nothing I did is important here. Obviously liveries, I do have a separate video actually that covers all these liveries in more detail, but just kind of flipping through them really quickly. Nice selection of liveries for this truck, which is really cool to see. Then moving on down to the spoiler, this truck honestly already has quite a bit of grip, and it does feel pretty hooked up to begin with. It has a lot of mechanical grip because of the suspension stiffness and all that stuff. So I don't really think a spoiler is necessary. Not to mention that most of the options don't look that great on this truck. I just am never a fan of spoilers on trucks. If you want to run one, feel free, but I honestly don't think it needs it because this truck, as I said before, already has quite a bit of grip already. The other thing I do add to a lot of these new drift tuning cars is just lowering down the suspension as much as possible. This helps reduce a bit of body roll. This truck in specific, as I said before, it does have a lot of mechanical grip already, so the suspension is already pretty stiff, so it's not like you need to stiffen it much further, but I just do it for a little bit more of a competitive advantage. So those are the 3 key upgrades I wanted to cover. Pretty much everything else is bog standard. Just kind of upgrade it however you want, and you're going to get a pretty solid and well sorted drift truck. So that's really about it. We're going to blast through and head on to the docks and give this thing a try. Also, while I'm cruising over to the docks, I do want to give you guys a massive thank you for all the support on the videos that I posted yesterday. I posted 5. One of them was pre-recorded, but the rest I was just kind of hustling out before I had to work yesterday. So I really do appreciate you guys all tuning in and supporting me. It does feel good to get back a little bit into the YouTube grind, especially now that I have more of a reason to with these drift tuning cars. And yeah, I will also be making a full ranking / tier list video for all of the drift tuning cars, all 20 of them in the near future. But anyway, quitting yapping, we're gonna get on to the longer corner on the way to the docks. Let's send it right in, and there we go. We can mostly link it all the way through. A little bit of a wall tap, that's okay. There's always a truck that spawns right there, and I'm always so petrified I'm gonna hit it, but it's okay. We keep modging all the way through. And one thing you guys are gonna see already from the get-go is kind of what I said before. Honestly, this truck has so much mechanical grip, you're not really seeing the truck roll over on itself. It feels very planted, very hooked up. It's not like I'm understeering or the car is rolling over on itself, as I said. It is very fluid and very smooth, and because of that, it just feels a lot more competitive and just quicker and more fun to drive in general. This thing combines pretty much all of the best aspects of some of the other fan favorite cars that we've had. So for example, it combines some elements of the Remus and the Hardy, being faster, more hooked up drift cars like those. It is relatively quick. It does have a lot of mechanical grip, and it is on the more competitive side. I don't know if it's as fast as those cars, but it still is pretty quick in its own right. It does have a decent amount of forward and side bite, which I think it will, I think will make it a pretty competitive tandem car if you guys are going to be using this in competitions, things like that. I say that right right as I crash. So yeah, already it combines those aspects of it, but also it is super smooth and easy and consistent to drive, like a car like the Dominator FX or the Volker Nebula Turbo. It kind of combines all of those really good aspects of so many different cars into one final package, which again, as I said, is super smooth, consistent, and easy to drive. I'd say this is a really great candidate for beginners as well who are just getting into drifting with drift tuning. This car is definitely a banger because it's going to be able to teach you the basics of, you know, getting comfortable with slower speed drifts and then take it all the way up to higher speed drifts like what I'm trying to do here. Now, the truck, as I said before, does have a little bit more mechanical grip, which can mean that it will grip up if you go fast enough in drift. But I mean, I don't think that's a super huge complaint. You could mostly say that about every other drift tuning car in the game, now that the power is mostly restricted. It's not like the Jester Classic before it was nerfed, where you could link together corners like at 70, 80 miles per hour, something like that. But beyond that, still, I mean, it does combine the best aspects of so many other great cars. It's got good mechanical grip. It does feel relatively smooth and everything like that. Sometimes it does feel a little snappy, I think just because it's a more of a lighter weight truck, but honestly nothing too catastrophic. I say that as I crash again, dude. Maybe that's a testament to maybe the lack of grip this car has compared to something like the Hardy, which I actually just drove, and that car has a lot more forward and side bite, so maybe I'm a little bit too used to that. But overall, man, this thing is an absolute ripper, and the best thing, the icing on the cake, is that this truck is completely free for this event week. So rather than spending $1.4 million, you can just grab this thing for free, or grab however many you want for free, and then apply maybe 30 grand worth of upgrades at the bare minimum, including the suspension, maybe a set of wheels, things like that, armor, all that stuff, and you will be set to go. So this is perfect for budget-minded players who are just getting into drifting and you happen to be logged in for the event week that this discount, or this, you know, free truck is currently accessible for. But even outside of that, I still think it is worth that purchase price, because again, you are really getting the full package, especially in comparison to some other drift cars where you have like a 1.4 million dollar purchase price plus the upgrades on top. I'd say this truck is a little bit more cost effective in that way, because you're spending 1.4 million and getting the entire package from the get-go. So yeah, overall, very, very, very good drift car, and I would highly recommend you guys go and get this thing as soon as possible if you're able to get on for this event week. So yeah, I'm gonna quit yapping there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like I repeated myself a bunch because there's really not much more else I can say about this truck. It's a ripper. I love the way it handles, and it's definitely going to be one of the best drift tuning cars, which I will be ranking in a future video. Probably going to do like a tier list style video at some point in the near future, hopefully next week sometime. So definitely stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I really appreciate you guys listening to all my yapping and getting hopefully to the end of the video. If you happen to find it helpful or informative, feel free to drop a like on it. Leave any comments, questions, or feedback down below, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see some more drift tuning content coming in the future, covering some of the stuff that's being added to GTA Online. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.